selfishly, egotistically, to be back, to be a part of the radio station, be on again, and now we got to do a show every day and do it well. And I think thus far it's been well received, and I'm really happy.
Now, you've never struck me as a guy who ever gets nervous, but were you nervous that 5 to 6 hour the first time you came back on the air?
I had a little butterflies just for the open of it because I wasn't sure the right way to open it.
Yeah.
I haven't been nervous to do the actual show, but when I did that 1 hour show, I didn't know the right tenor to open with. So I figured the Mad Dog thing was the right way to go. Because at the end of the day, while there's still some serious, somber things I did have to discuss, I did want people to know that, I'm still here and, the person they listened to for 10 years is back. So that's how I did it.
Yeah, you hit all the right tones, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the nice things that you said and all the stuff that's going back and forth between our two shows. It's just a lot of poking fun at each other. And, and we know what's going on, and we're trying to actually link this station together for the first time in a long time.
Here's what's funny. So every time I've spoken to Boomer about what the relationship would be like between mornings and afternoons, even before they even announced that it was me and Evan Roberts, Boomer's been funny. We probably had half a dozen conversations, Greg.
Yeah.
Every conversation came down to, this will be great for softball.
Now, I don't know what softball was like when you were around. I'm telling you, it has changed. So
No, it hasn't.
From what I've heard, it has not changed one bit.
It's changed in the sense that people are actually speaking up about how they don't want to play. Like, I feel like Al never spoke up about how he didn't want to play. Then Bobby and Jerry, they just bagged out of this thing quietly. I don't even know how they got out of it. So now there's a little bit of a schism going on because no one ever said that they didn't want to go to the games, I don't think. And now that part is happening.
No, Al always complained about the travel. That hasn't changed at all.
Right.
But
I went out and got a dog so that I have to go home and
if the major life change just to avoid going to Long Island on a Thursday night at 6. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is, Greg? It's Greg that actually is speaking up for these guys where you would never speak up for those guys because you loved going to the softball games as much as I did.
I couldn't get enough. I wish we played every week, yeah.
Exactly. So it was really Greg that was the impetus. That's the change that has happened.
Well, I will say this, Al may or may not be the loose-lipped part of your staff. So Al has told me privately many times that it irks him when he does make the commitment to go to a game and you bench him. He hates that.
Same here. Yeah.
He doesn't like that.
Right. There was that one time, and Al told the story to you, and it was 100% right. I looked around, I looked at Al, and then I looked past Al, and there's Eddie, and then I looked past Eddie, and there's Gunner, and I'm like, the four of us are here, and it's all your freaking hockey buddies and Mastalones
and Bobby
out there.
Bellini.
Bobby Bellini, the plumbers
He's a
out there.
He's a good outfielder, though.
I was like, what the hell is this? Why am I even here?
It's like Boomer and the Wasps. and you guys
ways
are,
than one, yeah.
And you guys are cheerleaders or something.
No, that's not true. But at the end of the day, what's the most important thing, Craig?
Team winning.
Right. And what did we do?
We won a lot of games.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear it. All these guys.
But of course, don't forget, we also played the Hebrew home 9 times a year just to make sure we got a couple W's.
That was fine. It was all good to get a W.
Middle-aged Jews playing softball in Westchester.
Do you feel different on the air at all after taking 3 years off?
Do I feel different?
Yeah.
It's weird. I did afternoons for 5 years before I came here, with Boom, 13 years ago. So it feels a little different just the time of day, and just getting used to Evan and he and I being partners and just trying to figure out that dynamic. But that to me, that's the fun part. Like, as I explained to Evan off air, I do what I do. And I only know how to do it one way. So I need to also be fair to Evan and let him, let the show breathe and let him get in and out and figure out what makes him tick and, what he's comfortable doing. Boom and I got to a point, and it wasn't day one, where we figured each other out. And I think, Evan being a radio professional has allowed that to happen a lot quicker than it normally does. So I feel good about that.
He's a radio professional, but as a human being, he just basically does nothing.
It's like, this isn't shtick or anything.
No.
Like every single aspect of his life, everything, in some way, shape, or form, has a direct correlation and relationship to some sporting event. Yeah. I have friends who are diehard sports fans who remember key moments, whatever. It's like I farted back in '96 And that was the time Aaron Boone hit the home run in the 5th inning against. Like, what are you talking about? I've never met anybody like that before, and I'm fascinated by that.
Well, two things that Evan and Boomer, like you were trying to compare Evan to Boomer in that first promo that I heard, and a lot of it is different between those two guys, having worked with both of them. But one thing that they share is you can trust both those guys, and they're both great dudes. And I think that that's going to be a relationship that you'll have for a while.
You got made it all serious.
It's true though. I mean, honestly,
Evan's a great guy.
Evan's a great dude. And I heard you yesterday, you jerk, when you're like, oh yeah, let's talk about the Bitcoin at 17,000 a coin.
That's relatable.
That's relatable.
Be comfortable. Well, this is the Evan Roberts has a bad back apparently.
Yeah.
So
he got hit by that taxi, right?
He's still claiming he got, when he got hit in the bicycle by the taxi, he flipped over a couple times. So he went to management and asked for a comfortable chair, and they gave him this pimp chair. So it is pretty. But what Evan does, like, he sits low and he sits back. So half the time he's not on the silly cameras that we do have in here that we put out, like some clips of the show. And there's times like I think he's just napping because this chair, this chair is so comfortable. And am I that boring now? Maybe.
Maybe it's the studio. Maybe that's what it is.
I will say this though: you're not boring at all. You haven't lost your fastball. You guys sound great. It's funny, and and hopefully, like I said, whether it's softball or anything else, we could all have our kumbaya.
Yeah, it's funny how
around
people
here.
seem so invested in the possibility of us not getting along and having this big war, quote unquote. And we've all fed into it. I said there's going to be a war.
You.
Right. I'm taking ownership of it. And you guys have had your little fun, and I have the fun back, and we'll go back and forth. I'm doing an interview today in 45 minutes with a major radio publication. And it's not about, Craig's back. The specific reason they requested an interview, it discussed the pending war between our shows. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that interview. That sounds like something I want to do. Jerry, you are so fat.
I know.
Wow.
17 pounds I got to lose.
And by the way, I have this for you, Greg.
Yeah.
You work in a business where people see you.
Yeah,
and you're surrounded by guys, as we all are. Any small little slight weakness, it's going to be attacked on, right?
The mullet's not a weakness,
but
it's a sign of strength.
You can't grow the mullet knowing people are going to see it and comment on it, and then have a problem that people are commenting on it.
No. It's the thing, and I understood when I grew this mullet that they would be polarizing. I do understand that. It's the thing where it goes from, if someone says, I don't like the mullet, that's fine. It's the you look horrible, you're fat. That's the thing that I don't like. Where they're like, Boomer, I love you, I respect you, you're the best. I've been watching your career the whole time. Greg, you're a fat slob with a mullet. Anyway, on to my point with the Giants.
No,
I'm not saying you saying that's what the caller does.
Well, then you need more of your friends to call into the show.
Yeah, I know.
Boomer, you fat slob.
All right, you got anything on the show today you want to promote or what?
No, we never do.
I mean, you did the Porzingis
the Porzingis Smith was funny. That was an overnight anchor got the name wrong. Porzingis Smith
on a sports show.
I don't know. Like I have to, control Evans. Today, like for example, the NBA draft is tonight, right? So the next pick, 8th and 27th or something, whatever it is. You can't do 5 hours on that.
No.
Yet Evan, and here's the interesting thing, like when Boomer and I used to have sports conversations, no disrespect, I was never afraid that he knew something I didn't.
No.
And I don't think Boomer was ever afraid that I knew something that he didn't.
Yeah, I knew you knew nothing.
But like, if I go, Evan, NBA draft tonight, he's like, okay, picking 6 for the first time in the last 9 years, and they traded the pick from this guy. I'm like I can't do that. So
who wants to do that?
Yeah. So I'm really on my toes. Hey, Michael Kadire was Sandy Olsen's 4th pick in the second. I mean, Jesus. Like your head will explode.
Carton and Roberts coming up at 2 p.m. right here on The Fan. Thanks, Craig. We'll talk to you soon.
Pleasure seeing you guys. The war has not begun, but I do leave dumpling sauce in your studio every day.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.